Hey, what's up, everybody? So Banks, Kotalom Song, the coolest in the city. That's in the city. I mean, officially neighborhood and Hollywood. Welcome to Neighborhood Studios podcast. I'm your host, Soso Banks. Everyone else calls me Nanga. So shout out to all the ladies in the place with style and grace. What came as a surprise to me was the amount of ladies that tuned in. I love that. I'm an avid hip hop listener, but this isn't a predominantly hip hop podcast. I love watching movies, documentaries, interviews, acceptance speeches. So when I'm done watching a movie, I'll check the credits for the music supervisor who did the score for this movie, if I love it. You know, Speaking of documentaries, there's a Milli Vanilli documentary out, very informative. 9 minutes in, they're talking about what makes a pop star in terms of looks. And one thing they pointed out was hair. So now here you think Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Elvis Presley, Diana Ross, you think Moonchild Sonelli, you know. But this duo, one thing or two things rather that happened with them is that like they never read their recording contract. It was in German and they got in advance. So it's compromised of two dancers, two guys, they're two dancers. So one is from Paris. Fab moves to Germany where he finds Rob. They both have different accents. One is French, one is German. So these guys, essentially, they lip singing English songs, you know. So now in Germany, they meet a producer called Frank Farian. And this guy built his machine where people were going to studio to record songs for the duo, you know. So like vocalists and session musicians without the duo. So now they sign with Arista Records in the States because now they're big. The duo is big, you know. So they sign with Arista Records. Arista at the time is headed by Clive Davis. You hear the name Clive Davis, you think Whitney Houston, you think RCA Records. So at this point, they're huge. Big mistake. Big mistake. They're huge. So how this guy would work, the producer now that's in Germany, is that he'd get people in studio, like vocalists, like at different times. So the others would leave through the basement, the others would leave through the back door of the house type of thing, so that they don't catch on what he's doing and where these songs are going, So here's the fall of Milli Vanilli, rather unfortunate also. So one of the lead singers exposed him, but no one took him seriously, because these guys are like crazy huge, like all over the world, they're huge, So Rob and Fab wanted to, really sing on songs now at this point, and then, but they couldn't because like they're not gifted with the voice of singing. Like they aren't singing niggas, they are dancers, So that's how the producers thing also worked, because these guys are like dancers. So now the streets are talking, but it's like murmurs, like no one is really saying anything about it. And then eventually they had a fallout with the producer from Germany because of their recording contract. And then he exposed the truth. Then they had to give back their Grammy. That's how far it went. So this producer had like a reputation already where he'd do that with like groups. Like I think he had about 2 before Milli Vanilli and then more afterwards as well. And so the backlash was like so bad that one of the guys committed suicide. Like one of the guys in the duo committed suicide. But it was crazy, bro. Like the way no one caught on. Like the machine was working. The machine was working. So guys, read your recording contracts, but this is like a super, super informative documentary. It's like one of the craziest stories in the music industry ever, because if you can do that for so many years, what else are other people not doing? But I'd also then love to, segue this to, since these guys were lip syncing, so even on liner notes, they weren't on liner notes of their biggest album. They weren't on the liner notes on the vinyl one. Yeah, they weren't on the liner notes there. So I want to segue this to artists performing over their vocals at like concerts and festivals. A few people in the entertainment space have been long-winded, rather, when it comes to this conversation or relaying it. Wallow has voiced it. Wallow from Gillian Wallow. Offset has voiced it. Alchemist has voiced it, and Earl Sweatshirt as well. Like Earl Sweatshirt and Alchemist were like straight up with it. I forgot what interview they were doing, but they spoke about it. So some people may call it amateur hour. Some say, yo, we're not at karaoke night. Like, come on. So one thing I also noticed was that the Locks versus Dipset versus Jada Kiss dissed the Dipset guys for not knowing their lyrics. Like if you guys can go back to that, or if you know like the memes, there were memes circulating as well, you know? So, and like to be honest, I hate that shit too. Like I hate it too. Like I paid to come watch you perform. So like give me something. Give me something. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone has a problem with this. And we say it with so much, grace and respect. Like, yo, please give us something. Give us something. Like, don't perform over your vocals at concerts, at festivals, wherever you're booked as an artist. Please don't do that. Like, I think people have been, voicing it in a sense that there's a shift that's happening in the music space, but it's the long and short of it is that artists need to stop performing over their vocals. Like one artist that I noticed that does this or is on his way to becoming a great performer. I've never seen Offset live, but him and Tyler the Creator, Tyson Cybertail, also here from SA. They are like the few people that I've noticed that they are perfecting their craft, so to say, and it's like such an unpleasant listening experience as a music consumer. So like rehearse your set not only the day of the show, but like days prior as well. Like let that be part of your schedule as an artist. Like familiarize yourself with your breath control, your stage presence. Like please do that. And one of the ways to improve that is not by cuffing your mic and like mix your songs well. Get TV tracks. So a TV track, it's the instrumental, it's the ad libs, it's the hook of the song. So like do that as time goes by, If you're starting out, do that, please. Like Tyson Sabatelli did this so well at his listening was his listening session with the Sobering podcast of his EP Present with the song No Comment. Like that was my thing. I was like, damn, this thing sounds insane. Like I love the way he did that. I love the way he did that. I won't lie. And then we'll speak about the elephant in the room, which is the Grammys. The Grammys. Man, I'm so mad Calvin Momo didn't submit. Like, and if he did submit, then my bad, OG, my bad, OG. Like, I'm so mad Calvin Momo didn't submit. So the Grammy nominations were announced last week Friday. I feel like Calvin Momo should have submitted for Amukelani. That's a fire album. Oh my god. oh my God. Like, that's his best work so far for me personally. I just have to put that out there. So for like, I think I'm being ambitious right now, but I believe that, like, I believe in that album's grind. Like, I believe in Calvin Momo's grind, you know? And I also feel like Uncle Waffles got snubbed, more or less. Like, low key, yeah, I know, low key, she got snubbed. Low key, she got snubbed, you know, point blank, period, like a city girl, word to Drizzy. I want to say, in her being snubbed, I feel like Red Dragon was before its time. I feel like Red Dragon was before its time. But then she dropped Solace and Asylum like 5 months apart. So that's like hard work. Props to Uncle Waffles. You know, with the Grammys, like with the conversations that have been going on regarding the Grammys, I would say that there aren't, if any, people of our kind in the recording academies rooms, man. Like, and I say that because you can tell from the process starting at the submission to the screening to nomination, there's something missing, you know? There's so many genres in the best African music performance category. Like, I feel like it needs more guidance, so to say. But like, I want to send a shout out to the pioneers of the best African music performance category, like the guys that put that together. I just can't get to their names now, but shout out to them. They did something huge, like it's a major step in the right direction. So I'll speak on the Grammy snubs or the categories. Her loss is scooping all of the awards. That's me personally. That's how I feel. If Basiria's at the recording Grammy, I have a theory that Killer Mike might win. Like, if Basiria's, then her loss will win. But I feel like Killer Mike might win. You know, Doja Cat got snubbed for Record of the Year. I think she should have been nominated for that. They did my nigga Ghana dirty, man. They did my nigga Ghana dirty. I'll stop there. Also, one of the producers, Baniacs, he worked with Drake a lot. I think it was for All the Dogs, he worked on that too. And for his tour, he should have been nominated. But on a much more positive note, shout out to Victoria Monet. The VMAs tried to play with her, by the way. And then God said, not on my watch. Not on my watch. So I love seeing people get their flowers in real time. Jaguar 2 is a solid body of work. Cadillac, A Pimp's Anthem is my favorite song on there. Like, I want to listen to that song over Dolby Atmos speakers, like in a studio that has Dolby Atmos speakers. That would be, man, it would be life-changing in some way or another, you know. R&B is in such a good space, man. R&B is in such a good space. The R&B scene, especially when you look at the Grammys Best Progressive Album, R&B album, and Best Engineered Album. I love the space R&B's in. You know, a few things I found out about the Grammys is that, you know, after the show, the live show of the nominations, I went to go check like the process of like starting from getting an entry. Man, I feel like you have to be meticulous from the beginning. Like, you can't miss anything, you know. So there are like 14,000 voters that are music industry professionals. There are over like 22,000 entries a year, or close to 22,000. And then, like, as an artist, you have to be known. So you have to travel a lot. You have to tour a lot. You have, like, your social media needs to be up to par. Like, the brief to the Grammy community is like they have to vote on quality. So, like, alone. So they do not listen to social media. They aren't hype beasts. Like, it's not a popularity contest. So quality of the music, number one. And the crazy part is that no one knows who the 14,000, you know, voters are. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, you know? So we'll then go over new music. Well, I listened to LOOKATUPS' album and Ryan Trey's album. There's too much music coming out every Friday. Like there's way too much. Way too much. I saw a friend of mine also complaining that like she can't keep up and whatnot. I was like, man, it's all of us. Song, we can't keep up, you know. But I love music, so I'm not complaining, you know. But there's just way too much music coming out every Friday. So Look It Up's dropped his album Son of Joy. I like this new sound. I wouldn't say it's unlike him because if you've listened to Look It Ups over the years, you can tell that it's a direction that he was going to take eventually. I'm interested in the visual treatment of the album. Like Ups is very artsy. Like he's very artsy as an artist, you know. So I also don't want to call it a hip hop album. Like it's not a hip hop album, bro. Like it's not a hip hop album. Like this is a different pocket. Yes, he's a hip hop artist, but I don't feel like it's a hip hop album. You know, 2 years ago he dropped Loma Langa. I love that song. I love that song. Like that's when I could tell about okay, cool. Okay, cool. He's tapping into different pockets now as an artist, you know. So I love Son of Joy. It's a good album. Like well done, Ups. Well done, well done, well done. And then Ryan Trey also dropped a new album. Like Ryan Trey comes from the school of Bryson Tiller. Like Bryson Tiller gave him cosign as he made his way into mainstream. That Bryson Tiller cosign was very, very important. And the song as well, fire song. It's a fire song. The production on this album is amazing. Like as a trap soul artist, I feel like you can't miss in terms of production. Like you can't miss, you know. So sonically, it's a very good album. Ryan Trey is like if Party Next Door and Bryson Tiller had a kid musically, you know. So now personally, I like his previous album, a 64 East Saga. Like that's my favorite project from Ryan Trey. I'm not feeling this one very much, but production wise, yeah, no, he got it, man. He got it. So that's about it, you know, for episode 3. Shout out to all the ladies in the place with style and grace. Shout out.